This is one of those curries that look and taste indulgent, but it's built almost entirely from wholesome ingredients. It has all the richness of a special occasion meal, yet it's light enough for a weekday lunch without leaving you feel heavy afterwards. Today we are making a creamy, nutty brinjal curry inspired by a famous traditional Bagara Bangan recipe. But this isn't a restaurant style version, it's a lighter and milder recipe made for everyday cooking. So why put a traditional recipe on a diet? Well, because that's the focus on our channel. We are trying to make traditional flavors work for everyday nutrition and make healthy eating less boring. The good part about this recipe is that once you learn this gravy, think of it as a mother sauce. It works very nicely with many other vegetables. We'll come back to that later though. Bangan simply means eggplant, also known as brinjal or aubergine, depending on where you live. I'm using these small Indian brinjals because they are naturally sweeter and have fewer seeds than compared to these larger eggplants. And if you're buying larger eggplants, then choose the smaller one amongst them because they will usually have softer seeds and less bitterness. If they do taste slightly bitter, then simply soak these pieces in salted water for about 5 minutes before cooking. While this is the primary aubergine or eggplant that should go in, you can also use this. To keep the oil to a minimum, we are going to cook everything in a particular sequence. First, toast the peanuts in a dry pan over medium-low heat for about 5 minutes or until they start smelling nutty and lose their raw flavor. And you will absolutely need no oil at all when you're toasting these peanuts. Next come the sesame seeds. They toast much faster and in about a minute they will begin to crackle. Finally, add the desiccated coconut. But here, turn off the heat first because coconut will burn within seconds. You're simply trying to warm this desiccated coconut which is already dry, so it takes no time to toast them at all and it will bring out the aroma really nicely. These three ingredients are the heart of this curry, and instead of relying on cream or lots of oil, they give us this natural richness, body of the curry and plenty of nutrition. In the traditional recipe, if you have ever had one, then you will see that the stem is always left attached. It looks beautiful when served and almost gives the brinjal a little lollipop handle. So here's the thing, when you buy this type of a brinjal, you have to make sure that this top green part is green. It's not dry, otherwise the brinjal is too old. And the surface should be shiny. You must also make sure that there are no holes on the top because that's where the infestation starts from and you might end up throwing half your brinjals away. And the size should not be too large. If it's this size or smaller, then it's great. Trim away the dry parts, then make a deep cross cut almost to the base. Personally, I prefer to remove the stem completely. And here's my golden rule with almost any closed vegetable. Always check the inside. Sometimes pesticide-free vegetables especially come with tiny visitors of free protein which you do not want. Just trim away that part and you can carry on. You don't have to throw away the entire vegetable. Now heat about 3 tablespoons of cooking oil or ghee until it's properly hot. To check, simply drop in a small piece of onion and if it sizzles immediately, you are ready to go. The oil that you must choose must be having a high smoking point because we are going to fry the eggplants for a very long time. Now, eggplant is like a sponge. If the oil is not hot enough, it will absorb everything. Add the brinjals and gently turn them to coat in the oil and then cover the pan. The lid will trap the steam, helping the eggplants to cook through while using far less oil. Cook for around 12 to 15 minutes, turning them every 3 or 4 minutes. If they begin sticking to the pan, then don't panic and add more oil. Just splash in a little water. You're looking for brinjals that are almost cooked, like a small knife should slide in very easily with little resistance. Remove them from the pan and set aside. Now the pan already has a thin coating of oil from frying the brinjal, so we need only about a tablespoon of oil more. We'll now prepare the aromatic base. So we'll start with the chopped onions and cook them until they are soft and translucent. We are not looking to fry them until they turn brown. Fry for about 2 to 3 minutes and then add ginger garlic paste and we'll cook for a further 2 minutes. The sharp smell of ginger and garlic will mellow and that's when it's time for us to add the chopped tomatoes. Cook these for another 3 or 4 minutes, and the tomatoes do not have to melt away, but they must just turn soft and pulpy. Finally, add the green chilies, and I always add them towards the end because frying them too early makes everyone in the kitchen and in the house and in the neighborhood sneeze. Cook for another couple of minutes before turning off the heat. We'll have to blend this into a paste, but for that it has to cool down. So add half a cup of water to cool down a little faster. We'll be blending these cooked aromatics along with the toasted peanuts, sesame seeds, and desiccated coconut. If peanuts aren't an option for you, then you can also use cashew nut or almond for this recipe. Add a little water and blend until it's perfectly smooth. So you have now the creamy curry base ready. So let's bring everything together. Add about half a tablespoon of oil to the pan, and once it's warm, add the cumin seeds and the curry leaves. As soon as the cumin seeds begin to crackle, add the blended paste and add a splash of water to loosen things slightly and stir well. Now it's time to add the most basic of ground spices, turmeric and Kashmiri red chili powder for that beautiful orangish hue without making the curry overwhelmingly spicy. Add ground coriander, stir everything well and cook for about a minute. And now taste the gravy. Take a small sample of it with the ladle and see if you need to adjust the amount of chili. I'm going to add a little bit more and season with some salt. If the paste starts to catch at this stage at the bottom of the pan, then lower the heat and add a splash of water. Okay, not everyone grew up with an expert cook in the kitchen, showing them what to do, why do you do it, and how to make things easier. And that's really what I want to do through my channel, to help you cook with confidence while keeping it simple, practical, quick, and healthy. And if you'd like to take this learning step a little further, then I have just launched my Healthy Indian Cooking course where I take you through the fundamentals and the little techniques that make everyday Indian cooking so much more easier. The link is in the description and you can check out more details about the course there. Alright, back to the recipe. So the gravy has cooked enough and the spices are well spread out. So let's return the cooked brinjals to the pan. Mix it well and remember the brinjals are almost cooked but not completely. So it would be a good idea now to add enough water to make it come about halfway up the brinjals. For the first minute, gently stir so that the gravy finds its way into all those cuts in the brinjal. Cover the pan and reduce the heat and let everything simmer gently for about 10 to 15 minutes. By this time, the eggplant will be fully cooked and that's when it fully blends in with the creamy curry. And if you have used the whole brinjal like I have in this recipe, then you can use the knife test. If there's any resistance, when you insert the knife into the center, give it a few more minutes to cook. The steam is doing most of the cooking here and not the oil. If the gravy thickens too much, and it will, then add just a tiny splash of water. Now let's give this curry base a little bit of thought. Once you have learned this gravy, you will learn that it's a very versatile mother sauce. Mother sauce because you can do so many things with it. It works beautifully with roasted cauliflower, okra, green peas which are already cooked, even baby spinach, pumpkin, green beans, steamed or cooked moringa, boiled eggs. I mean, you can just keep on thinking how many endless variations you can make with this base sauce. You can even add cooked legumes like chickpeas. So you have one base and you have endless healthy meals. Serve it over hot rice or with a roti and you will love this creamy, spicy curry with a gentle tang of tomatoes. What I love about it the most is that it is not something that feels heavy. It does not give you heartburn once you have eaten even a large quantity of it. Aubergines or eggplants are very delicious, but they also earned a very bad name because they are nightshades and many people try to avoid nightshade vegetables because they are afraid that it will cause a lot of inflammation in their body. All you have to do is cook it to the best extent possible until it's really soft and that problem is solved. Because if you go by that rule, you'll have to stop eating most of the fruits and vegetables. And any nut-based gravy will thicken as it cools and even more when you refrigerate it. So when you reheat it, add just a quarter cup of water and mix well. and then simmer it until it's fully warm. If you make this, let me know in the comments what vegetable you have used and what extra twist you added to make this in your own way. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next recipe.